Okay, let's get things started. We have guessed quite a bit already what has happened, but now we can talk to the people actually who did things, and we can ask a lot of things about them. Let's start with the practical one. Yeah, the incarnation affixes you with a stony gaze as you approach. He looks like he's sizing you up for weaknesses. Okay. Are you... Incarnation is silent for a moment, then his expression changes to contempt. Yeah, we'll gone through that. This is the possession dialogue. Questions. I will indulge you, but only for a while longer. Okay. You are... No, God, we're not gonna... No, we're not gonna... I'm gonna skip this now so we can actually load. Reason is I want to... yeah. I want to buff my charisma before starting to talk. I think we can also rest here. We have a couple of friend spells, so we can use these frosty means. But I don't want to leave anything to chance. Yeah, that's not good enough. It's a chance based how much it actually raises your charisma, so we might have to cast a few times before we get it. I'm gonna save again and start anew. If you are a part of me, there are things I would like to know. You are the one who saved... yeah. You are the one who saved Dakan at Shrek Lore, and the one who led Deonara to her death. The man's eyes narrow. What of it? All of it was done with a purpose. You gave Dakan the Unbroken Circle Zerthimon. Why? The Unbroken Circle? That collection of lies. Yes, it was a week's work to forge us, I think. It was necessary to make it so he would cease doubting himself. Okay. You made it, but you told him... Perhaps they carry some truth, I know not. I know that they were tedious writings, but the words were enough to keep him faith. Why? Your ignorance astounds me. Man looks incredulous. Can it be that you do not know what he carries in his hands? That blade he carries is shaped by his thoughts. Such a tool, when used properly, could slay the multiverse itself. The man looks lost in thought. Then his face sneers in disgust. True, obviously the gifts became separated when we arrived in the fortress, and I was unable to make use of his blade. Unfortunate. Okay. Now, yeah, you can see the dialogue options. They don't even... you can't even fit them in a single page. Okay. Okay, you are the one who led Deonara to her death. I'll ask this again, because I want to see the new options. Okay, there's at least 3. What's the purpose of saving Dakan? Yeah, it's the same. We'll ask about Deonara. The man's eyes narrow. What of it? They're all done for a purpose. Well, why did Deonara have to die? Deonara? That girl had little sense of the planes in her, and that was what I needed for her for. You see, the dustmen have it right. Sometimes when you feel too much passion, you cling too tightly to life to let go. Neither did Deonara, as I hoped she would. The paranoid. That woman? That ghost? The hunched man's eyes well up in fury, and spittle flies from his mouth. She tormented me for years, pursuing me, hating me, and you were the one that killed her? Practical. Incarnation. The incarnation barely even glances at the howling one and merely sneers. You blame me for anything is laughable. He turns back to you. It wasn't out of malice, though she did become tiresome. It's just that when I arrived in the fortress, I didn't intend to stay. I just wanted to get in, sacrifice her, and then get out. Good incarnation. The third incarnation speaks softly, but he sounds pained. Why did you do such a terrible thing? Practical. I needed someone to be my eyes here on the negative material plane, serve as a scout and try to find out who my killer was. Only the dead can survive here for long, so Deonara had to be sacrificed so that she could become something other than she was. A tricky business, but it worked. She helped you, didn't she? Yeah, you didn't have to kill her. Of course she had to die. He looks at you silently for a moment, then his sneer returns, and that is why you will be defeated if you confront our killer. It is because you are weak, and you not see that some things are necessary. Yeah. Okay, there are two options. How dare you call me weak? You orchestrated all these grand plans for defeating this invisible enemy, and you got your ass handed to you anyway. And some poor girl was murdered because of it. Maybe if you'd done your job the first time you were here, this wouldn't even be a problem. Yeah, I don't. That's not me. I'm not that passionate. That wasn't necessary. It was convenient for you. You should have looked for other solutions. You dare lecture me? Women have always walked our path with us, whether Deonara or Ravel or any other woman, and they have suffered, and it was always their choice. Deonara would have died for me if I'd asked her to. There was no crime. Yeah, other things. But I do like this because we get to talk to we get the reasons behind actions. So Leonara's only purpose was to die here on the negative material plane, as and get uh, transmuted or changed into a ghost. Yeah, I think it was a solid plan, but sort of a pointless one. Leonara hasn't been all that useful, to be honest. Okay, what's the purpose? You said there are a lot of. We can ask about the same things from multiple directions, so there aren't actually that many topics. There aren't 17 topics here. Okay, you built the tomb beneath Citadel, didn't you? The one with the traps. I'd almost forgotten. Yes, that was what a waste that was. The incarnation seems irritated. Obviously that didn't work, and it cost a lot of blood and coin too. Paranoid incarnation? Worthless? The second incarnation breaks into uneven laughter, but it's more gleeful than mad. It was easy to breach that child's trap. I found it and changed it to make it harder. Changed the writings. Practical incarnation. The first incarnation frowns at the second. He looks like he is barely restraining himself from attacking the other. Yet another thing you will answer for. He turns back to you. Though I suppose it doesn't matter. It was shortly after the failure of the tomb trap that I decided to carry the battle to our killer rather than wait for him to show any longer. Okay. But that makes quite a lot of sense. I like the fact that the incarnations don't haven't really. They all haven't been uniform or go at the same goal. So just like every other place where different people of different alignment have actually naturally despise each other and work against each other, so do your own incarnations. Were you the one who brought Mort of the Pillar of Skulls? Is Mort still alive? A practical incarnation stares for a moment in disbelief. Then he starts laughing. Ha! That piking skull couldn't be trusted further than I could throw him. Claiming he had information when he didn't. Then I had to go through the torment of prying him off the Pillar of Skulls. Then he feigned ignorance once he was off of it. Incarnation's coughs. I humored him since he told me everything I needed from him.